So, you know, it's fun. Some people make it to an extreme. Other people just like to go out and have fun. And so we work with all the different equipment to do that.
Sounds very time consuming.
Well, it's a fun business. You get to meet a lot of different people that make it their they make it their life. So that's the advantage. Is being in it so long, I know a lot of those people, and it's fun. It's a real fun business. Next week we're actually in Las Vegas for our Diving Equipment Marketing Association. It's the biggest show we have in our industry, and so next week I'll be seeing people that I haven't seen for years, and we get together once a year at that point.
Now, you mentioned sometimes you'll be down there for an hour and a half.
Yeah, if you're...
so you need real good batteries, huh?
That's one of the biggest things. In the old days when film, we only had 36 pictures. There'd be many times that people would bring down 2 housings with them because they'd be into a certain place that you can only dive at a certain time, like up in a bigger place up in Maine. When we go to Maine, like the Bay of Fundy, where they have these big tidal changes of 13 feet.
Right.
So there's only 2 times a day that you can dive there between the slack tides. So people will drive all the way up there 8 to 10 hours to dive, and they only get in 1 dive. So what they're going to do is go in with several different cameras so they can make good use of that 1 dive. So, but digital has come along now, and 1 camera system you can shoot unlimited amount of photographs on. So, you know, you don't have to be limited to that. But you are correct as far as batteries go. Your strobes now are the things that go bad, not your film. So we have had better technology in strobes, and most of the strobes, knowing that that's the type of diving you're going to do, you're going to have better battery systems and buy a strobe that's going to give you that kind of time for sequence. Right. But the average diver, you know, gets away with small little strobes, small little compact systems, and we have cameras like, you know, that are, excuse me, these are the higher end point and shoot cameras. We have little point and shoot cameras that will go into housings like this. This is a typical size of a point and shoot camera underwater. You know, it looks clumsy, but underwater, as I said, there's no weight to it at all. So you go into a package like this, and you can get little tiny critters and all the way up to probably turtle shots, all in one type of camera system. You don't have to change lenses, and so it really makes it very a one package deal. You only have to buy it once, and you can get all the different photographs for all the different critters that you're out to shoot. So it's like everything else. Once you buy the initial package, it doesn't cost you that much more after that. And that's the whole thing about diving. Once you learn and get certified and get your equipment, then it's basically, you can go diving in your backyard here in New England. It doesn't cost you anything but a fill of air. But if you go like what I do, is take people to nice exotic vacations, then it costs you a little bit more.
Now on our last segment, Fred gives us a little bit of a picture of some of his expeditions and about the exotic places that he has visited.
This happens to be one of the photographs. This year in August, I was invited to a research project for the gentleman from Woods Hole. And this photograph right here was taken in 2005 on an expedition they did on, they shot it with ROVs, which are remote control vehicles. And this happens to be over 800 meters deep, so it's very deep. That's 2,100 feet or so, or 1,800 feet. So of course it's not diveable. So everything was shot with the ROV, and what it is over 100 different photographs composited together to make it one large photograph, so they could do the whole wreck site. And on these amphors right here that they pulled out, they did DNA testing on them, and they could tell that the same strain of grape that they're using today in Greece was backdated in 350 BC. So what the research project we were doing this year was to go to the wreck sites in the island of Ios, which is right off the coast of Turkey, and go out and shoot what we could do at diving levels. So what they're trying to do, right now in Greece, we cannot dive those wrecks unless they're okayed by the government, and most of the time you have to have a government official with you, because they have all these beautiful amphors, fully intact amphors that you could go dive and pick up. and they don't want that to happen. So what they're trying to do is document all these diveable dive sites. In that way, once they know that they can map them out like this, then they can let other divers go in there and know that the subject matter is not going to be touched. So this was I got to dive this project right here. It was around 120 feet. This is a composite of only 3 photographs, but then we went back and dove it, so we shot every 2 feet so we can make a real detailed map of the dive area. And then we went down and dove real close to the anthers, and you can see they're fully intact. This is dated around 300 AD, so it was about 1500 years ago. It was such a thrill to be able to go down there and feel something that old, fully intact. It was just incredible. And this whole island of Eos is completely stone covered. And what they were saying is the reason that it's stone covered is there was so much trade back in BC area that they were traveling back and forth to Turkey that they cut all the woods down to make boats so they could do all this traveling, and then that eroded all the soil, so everything's a rocky formation there. There's no more trees. But the travel, and as diving in these areas, you were able to see all the remains of different shipwrecks all over the place, and every cove that we dove into, there was some other stuff that was thrown off a boat, or I found stone anchors that dating back that long ago. So it was a pretty nice thrill to be able to get to do that. And next year the expedition's going to Egypt, so I've been invited to go with them then.
Excellent. Great.
All right, this is a world map that I keep out to show people the different places that we go to travel. And this, actually, a lot of times we have these exotic places that we don't even know the names of. People, or you know the names, but you don't know where they're located. So we have to go on the map and figure them out. When I first started diving, the Caribbean was a place to go, and it's very easy to get to. A straight shot from Boston, very easy to get into places like Bonaire, which is one of the best diving areas, as I feel, in the world, because we can go down there and the whole island's a reef, so you can just walk out of your hotel, go diving in the reef. You'll start to learn the different kinds of creatures there, their habits. It's very great. It's a great place to go and do photography, so you can learn, come back, change film, go back in very easily. And we used to have direct flights out of Boston to get down there. Now we still have to go through different places, but it's still an easy shot to get to. Then we started going to California. These are all places that I've actually dove. So we've gone to California, we go on to Cocos Island in Costa Rica, over to the Red Sea, or Greece, the Red Sea. And this is my favorite part of the world, is Indonesia. It's such a vast, Indonesia is almost as wide as the United States. So it's a great place to have different marine life, so places that have never been there before. When we dive out there, it's amazing. We have people come out with dugout canoes, and they're selling their trinkets to us. So that kind of stuff we've only been able to see in National Geographic. Now we get to go take pictures of it, and it's fantastic. The Solomon Islands, and going out to Tahiti and stuff. This has been one of the great pleasures of doing this business, is being able to travel to these places and take customers and show them different parts of the world.